Good morning, friends. Hope you all are doing well. Today I have brought a video on a new topic, various levels available in the SAP system. Before I proceed further, I would like to tell you that please like this video, share it in your network, and subscribe this YouTube channel as it takes lot of time, dedication, and energy to create each such kind of video which is useful for a variety of people from various backgrounds, because SAP is being used by most of the industries across the globe. With that, let's proceed further. So basically, what we are going to learn as a part of this video about the various levels in the SAP system is what is being mentioned here. So we will understand what is called as a level in the SAP system. Then we will also understand what are the different levels available in the SAP system, what is the importance of all these levels available in the SAP system, meaning and example of each level components in the SAP system, my personal view, and finally we will end this video with my conclusion on this given topic called as different levels of SAP system. Let's proceed further. So first of all, let us understand what is the level in the SAP system, because this is a very important concept to understand, and it, though it is not part of the system architecture kind of thing, but then this is something the way SAP system is designed to work. This is how the system setup is being created internally, and various rules and regulations are attached to certain levels from the various org unit perspective. This also helps in how the assignments will work, how the two components of the SAP system will be connected to each other, and how that will is going to be used. So it also decides a limit within which SAP system will work, and because of the segregation of various levels for various components of the SAP system, it makes the SAP system more useful, more valuable IT system for the organization. Maybe when I give you example with each of these things, you will be in a position to understand these things in a better way. And kindly watch this video till the end, because many a times you will get quite interesting questions from the interview perspective, which will help you to prepare for the interview as well. So kindly watch it till the end. Let's proceed further. Now, what I mean by levels in the SAP system is that as a part of the system organization setup, certain components are defined at different levels, and all these different levels are called as levels in the SAP system. Now, to give you example precisely from the SAP FICO perspective, please remember, though I have prepared it from the SAP FICO perspective level, but the same rule applies to all other functional modules in the SAP as well. It is not just for SAP FICO as such. So this rule is mostly applicable across modules. There is not much of difference, but certain components name and other things can get changed, or maybe some extra name might get added up. That is the only difference. The concept will remain as it is and same. So our first level is called as client level, second level is called as the country level, and third level is called as the company code level. So client level is the highest level. Please keep in mind, client level in the SAP system is always the highest level. Next level is called as the country level. Anything which is defined at the country level. I mean, if you are defining some settings for India as a country level, then that kind of settings will be considered as the country level. We will have further slides where we will talk about each of these levels in detail with examples. So kindly hold on till then. And then we have the lowest level called as the company code level. Anything which is defined at the lowest level in SAP FICO side is called as definition or defining any object at the company code level. We will see the examples. So client level is the highest level, country level is the middle level, and company code level is the lowest level. Only three levels we have. We don't have a fourth level as such. Let's proceed further. Now we will understand as part of this slide that what is the usefulness, what is the importance of all these levels which is being defined in the SAP system. Why SAP system is designed in such a way that this has three different levels. So the first thing is it helps in deciding the functionality of an org unit. Now you might ask, what is an org unit? Org unit or org element, for example, controlling area, company code, business area, these are all called as your org units. There are many more. I have just given name of three as an example. Now next part is and next benefit is reduction in the data footprint. SAP system is designed in such a way that most of the time it does not allow to create a data duplicacy, and also it believes in creating less number of data and generating maximum usefulness of that available data in the SAP system. So this level functionality actually helps in reduction of the data footprint in the SAP system. That means with less data setup, with less settings, you can do more work, more reporting in the SAP system. Then this particular setup or this particular settings of levels also increases the flexibility of the SAP system to adopt and accept various business requirements as well. That means I will give you one example of all these levels. Along with examples, you will be in a better position to understand it in a better way. Let's proceed further to see. Now total three levels I have talked of so far. So first level is called as a client level. For example, chart of account. This is always defined at the client level. Document type, the two-digit alphanumeric key which is used to denote a particular kind of business transaction. SA, DA, DZ. There are so many document types. AA, SAB. Then posting keys. Fiscal year variant. posting period variant, business area, controlling area. Controlling area is a setting in itself, and this is also at the client level. And remember, this is not the entire list of all the components available at the client level. I have just given a couple of them as an example here to understand how these components are defined at the client level and how it works. Remember, under a controlling area, you can assign n number of company codes with certain conditions to be met. Then one chart of account can be used again by the multiple company codes. One document type also can be used across all company codes available in the SAP system. Posting keys, fiscal year variant also can be used. So precisely any settings which can be used by more than one company code in the SAP system, you can say that those settings are all defined at the client level. There are few exceptions in that rule, but mostly anything you define at the client level will be available for any company code within the SAP system to use. Let me give you one scenario. Suppose you have 20 company codes and you have a single chart of account. If you have 20 company codes and you have a single chart of account, you can use that single chart of account for all the 20 company codes provided it fulfills the reporting requirement. And it does not create any legal or compliance issue as such. That way you think this one, that if we had to create 20 chart of account for all the 20 company codes, how much extra data footprint it will generate in the SAP system. It would have generated too much, right? So this is the reason why I have said that it reduces in the data footprint as well. I hope this point is clear to you all. Let's move further. Country level. This is another level at which only few components are created. For example, chart of depreciation, as it is related to the asset accounting, and asset accounting rules and regulations country wise are always different between two countries, and because of that, chart of depreciation is always defined at the country level, not at the client level. The only flexibility country level has is if you have 5 company codes all in the same country, you can use the same chart of depreciation for all the 5 countries. But the moment your country changes, you will have to create another chart of depreciation. And that is why, though it is defined at the client level, but then it is always used at the country level, not at the client level. Because the moment your company code goes into another country, you need a separate and new chart of depreciation. Then payment methods. You must have seen the FVGP or FBZP settings in the SAP system where we set up the automatic payment program. The settings number 3 is for the payment methods in the country, clearly written there. So payment methods are always defined at the country level and then it is extended to the company code level. So this is also one such example which is defined at the country level. Then tax procedures and tax codes. Tax is again one setting which is always country specific. Indian taxes rate will not apply to the England, and England tax rates will not apply to the USA. And tax setup also are pretty much complex and tricky in different countries. For example, Brazil has one of the most tricky tax setup. It is also called as nota fiscal. And then there are a lot of other things also. It has a lot of tricky settings. For more detail, you can just Google it, you will get to know better. So tax procedures and tax codes, these are also defined at the country level. And then the various forms. You might ask why the various forms are also country level item. Though it is, forms are actually used for various purposes. If you create an invoice, you need a form format, invoice format. If you create a running form, again you need a format. If you create a payment advice, again you need a format. And then there are many things where you need a particular format and forms. Here, point to keep in mind is one form will not fulfill all your requirements across countries. As long as it is within the same country, one form might fulfill. But here also, couple of changes you will have to do at the company code level. If the company code uses different logos, different things, then those things also will change at the company code level. But in general, forms are usually used at the country level because within the same industry, the forms, rules, regulations, all other things usually do not change much. It is pretty much consistent in nature, and that is why I have written that these are all defined at the country level, not at the company code level. Only condition is it should be within the same industry. If there are two company codes of the same company but in different industry, in that case it can have some differences. But otherwise it is one and same, and it is defined at the country level. Now let's move to the next slide. Company code level, which is actually the lowest level available in the SAP system from the SAP FICO perspective. You might ask what all things which is defined at the company code level. So company code segment of a GL account, as you know, GL account is made of two segments, chart of account segment and company code segment. Together they make a complete GL account in FS00 transaction code. So company code segment of a GL account is your control data and bank and other FSG related settings slide you have, bank interest slide tab you have. So these two part actually comes under your company code segment, and it can be different into different company codes depending on the business requirement. There are three segments for any kind of your customer or vendor master data. It will have general segment, it will have company code segment, and it can have purchasing org or the sales org segment. These three are the bare minimum and standard ones. But here the point is company code segment of the vendor and customer master data will come under. It can be different from for different company codes, how we want to set up. General segment of the master data is all defined at the client level. General segment of the customer and vendor master data is always defined at the client level, but the data which is defined at the company code level, that will come under your company code example. Another very important topic will be, or example will be, your financial document numbers. You assign the number ranges to the document types as part of at the company code level in FBN1 T code. Hope you remember this. This you do as a setup before you start doing any kind of postings. If you try posting without setting it up, you will get an error message in the SAP system that number range is not assigned. Number range is missing. These kind of errors you will get. So it is very important to understand all these three different levels and their usefulness in the system. Moving to the next. Now I have come to the conclusion of this particular video. Many a times you will face various kind of interview questions also, particularly even for the freshers, sometimes even for the experienced people. To ask, they might ask in the interview that which item is defined at which level, or they can also give you some tricky questions and then they ask you, let me know at what level it is being defined. They can just twist and trick the question and ask the same thing but in a different language, different manner. So as long as you are clear about the conceptual things about the system levels, client level, country level and company code level, and remember these three are not exact one and same. Few things mix and match between two levels as well. For example, if you take customer master data, so general data is defined at the client level, general data. Company code data will go at the company code level, and then you have sales area data. Again the sales area data will come from the sales organization, which is part of the SAP SD module. Again sales organization is defined at the client level. It is not defined at the company code level. Though it can have assignments, that is a separate thing, but it is defined at the client level. One sales org you can use across company codes by way of doing the assignments, sales area assignments. So that is why the relationship between these three levels are always bit of more tricky, and this needs to be understood in a very proper way. Then only you will be in a position to understand the question correctly, and you will also be able to answer these questions in a better way. Now let's conclude this video. So far we have seen and understood that system level plays a very important role in the SAP system. It also reduces the system complexity and makes simple system looks more simpler actually. Then these three levels also helps SAP system for all kind of records maintenance. You might ask, what is record maintenance? Record maintenance here I mean is business transaction recording. There are so many kind of business transactions keep happening in the system. Posting of a general voucher, invoices, payments, down payments, and so on. There are so many variety of transactions. And finally, to understand this concept is very important from the interview perspective, as well as many interviewers ask these kind of questions just to understand whether you understand the system in a better way or not, or to check the level of your understanding about the SAP system functionality. So keep these things in mind. This will definitely help you during your interview rounds. Moving to the next. You can watch this video, and still if you have some query, if you have some questions, if you have something which you want to clarify, please drop an email to the below email ID. I will be happy to reply on your query. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly like this video, subscribe this YouTube channel, and also share it in your network. It will be definitely useful to most of you who are planning to work in the SAP field, or also for the people who are already working in the SAP field. Thank you so much once again. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye.